My face is broken. No. Why is my face? Half of my cheek is blurred. Why is this a thing?
What have you done to your face that we have to censor your face, Alex?
Someone
I'm
drew a
frozen
dick
now.
on your cheek.
There's a
There it
dick
is.
on your cheek.
This is exactly
Coming
what
from
it is.
Peter, that's just funny.
Alright, welcome everyone to these much belated next episode of the Drunken Dice podcast. I'm your host Alex, as well as my co-hosts Jim and Peter. Hope everyone's having a great day today, and as always, what's everyone drinking tonight?
I've gone with a Sam Adams Summer Ale, the citrus sweet ale. It's nice, refreshing, delicious.
Peter's quiet.
Peter, are you muted?
Apparently.
Yes.
Because I
We're
have
professionals here on the
my
Drunken
pop
Dice
filter
podcast.
there, I couldn't tell that it was muted. Oh well. So anyway, I'm drinking Garrison Brothers,
Welcome
the
back.
Texas bourbon, and I don't care.
And I'm drinking a pint of Grater's ice cream because I have a very sick Marion in this house right now. I can't get too wasted tonight.
Pint of ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing, and I'm sticking with it.
Fair enough.
And I have some non-alcoholic seltzer too, so it's not even a White Claw. I'm just
Jesus.
drinking. That's me tonight. Have you found some good homebrew for us, Jim? As you're sitting there seething.
You know, I drink alcohol like after my COVID vaccine shots that made me feel like death. I still drank, but no, you have a sick girlfriend. You're like, I'll drink a seltzer.
Oh, I'm 4 drinks in already, which is why I'm not adding a fifth.
Okay, you have to say stuff like that. You can't be like, I'm having ice cream in a seltzer. It's not even a hard seltzer. I'm thinking like, Alex is totally like 0.00 BAC. Oh no, you're 4 drinks in. That makes more sense. Okay.
I was with my neighbor there, and he wanted to have some bourbon and a cigar, and that's what I was doing. And I went to say, all right, we had a couple of drinks before we ate dinner since we're chilling. And he said, okay, let's go outside. We'll smoke one. We'll be good. He says, all right, tell me when you're good. I said, oh, that's perfect. He didn't hear me. I said it again a second later. So it went from a couple fingers to, there's a lot of bourbon in this glass now.
That sounds awesome.
And this was our 3rd drink, which mine turned into like 3rd/4.5, 5th drink. Because of how much was...
See, this all makes more sense now. I was concerned for my friend.
Context is king.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
my drink tonight in the podcast is ice cream.
Ice cream. Fantastic. So, got some homebrew. Interesting stuff. I would like to remind everyone that homebrew is really just anything not in the game itself that you created. So the first thing, no spell or anything like that, it's a little dice game to play in a tavern.
Cool.
So it's called Dragonborn's Dice. In Dragonborn's Dice, both players roll 2d6, and a card is drawn. If one player's dice match the card, they win. If the king is drawn, the stakes are doubled. Traditionally, if a joker is drawn, the stakes go to the owner of the establishment the game is being played at. And every round of rolling that what's rolled doesn't match the card, the bet increases by 1 of whatever currency you're using. So silver, gold, copper.
Platinum.
I mean, if you're betting with platinum, good for you. You're doing great in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a super simple game. I mean, 2d6.
Yeah.
I assume ace is 1 and jack is 11, queen is 12. Then obviously king, the stakes are doubled for next time. So
Yeah. Sounds about right. It
Sounds
sounds
about
like a
fun,
fun
actually.
little game to throw in there for
right.
just something else to do, a little bit of flavor.
Well, and when you're doing, the like, I want to play like this dice game against this person, or I want to do this, like as we're hanging out in the tavern before or after,
Yeah,
our
I
adventure.
want to gamble and win money off the patrons. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
That's
And I
actually
like it's simple.
Actually.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's I just like that gives you some, like, instead of just being like, yeah, just roll like a sleight of hand check if you're gonna try cheating or whatever, and you make some money or something like that. Like, nope, here's this actual little game you can just play and it's fun. So
Yeah,
that's it.
that's fun. I like it.
It needs to be something. I think aces should also mean the pots are doubled, because it's impossible to roll an ace with 2d6.
You're correct. That is not addressed. And this is why we do this, because now I'm gonna say what happens with an ace to this person, because I'm interested now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll
Oh,
find
no,
out.
no. Kings are doubled, aces are tripled stakes.
Triple the stakes.
Yep.
You could totally do that.
It's like the opposite of snake eyes.
Either that or one goes to pay off the largest bar tab at the moment.
Ooh. No. Aces buy all the staffagers.
I mean, could work in a D&D world, not in a real, though, because,
Yeah.
staff shouldn't be drinking while serving alcohol.
I don't know what place would you go to. There's a place here in Lexington. There's a place here in Lexington that on the menu is by the kitchen around of drinks. Yep. It's called the Bear and the Butcher in Chevy Chase here in Lexington, and it's awesome. For $10, you can buy the kitchen beer.
Maybe for after their shift, not during their shift.
I don't know.
I would hope it's having worked both in the kitchen side and behind the bar. I would hope it's after, because you get into a lot of less gray and more a no area of during the shift.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if this person responds to this question.
If they respond during the
during the recording of this, because I said yeah, so I assume in Jackson queens are 11 and 12. So what happens with ace? Just see if he had an idea and forgot to write it, because he did forget to add the whole, like, if nothing matches, both add 1 to the stakes. So I was like, well, maybe he had this already in his mind and then just, like, forgot to write it down.
Or even if it's an ace, like, you subtract 1 from the stakes, could also, each person pulls one out.
Fun.
It's not, but it's a plausible thing that could happen.
It's plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just nice. So now on to more of what we've gone over, more so in this section, which is a spell.
Oh no.
It is a cantrip, an evocation cantrip.
Oh god, I am worried now.
For an undefined classes. So maybe all of them.
Oh god.
I would guess it's only the classes that can cast Fireball, because this is Reduced Blast Fireball.
Oh god.
Which, I mean, all right.
Why?
It I do question some things about. Just being honest, I question some things about this.
Oh,
But
God.
so, casting time 1 action, range 60 feet.
Okay.
Vocal, somatic, and material components: a tiny ball of bat guano and sulfur. So,
Same
what you need
as-
for fireball?
So is it double the range of Fireball, though? Isn't
60 feet?
Fireball... I thought Fireball was 30.
No, fireball's like 150 feet.
You're correct, it is. Continue. Okay, so that makes sense. So we're in the reduced thing, so... Okay.
Yep. Okay. Wait.
I threw them all off.
No, because people are not being the brightest. People have started responding to the question. Of the last
yes, let's see.
and the responses are aces 1, like in a lot of games. Okay, including the OP.
But it's 2d6.
If the game
Right.
is 36, you cannot roll a 1.
I mean, math is hard, I guess. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of complicated math, but that's not that.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm looking over it again. It says both players roll 2 parentheses d6 and a card is drawn. Because if it's both players combined roll 2d6, then they both win. If it matches, like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they were both just like aces 1, like in a lot of games, just from a random person. Then the OP aces 1, and yeah, jacks and queens are 11 and 12. But if the players roll 2d6, then 1 is impossible.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, so he responded.
He did.
See that.
Multiple people responded, and so
Right.
Good on you, Bendu Beats.
I've been to beats.
Yep. So
Beats
I
as
will-
in the rhythm, or beats as in the vegetable?
It's by Dr. Dre.
yeah. Bendu Beats by Dre.
It's just
Okay.
clearly not sponsoring this show, because look at all 3 of our sets.
Right. If they want to, feel free to sponsor us by sending us 3 pairs. We will shout you out forever, because...
Oh, just send us 1. We'll pick someone. I'll still do it.
What? Only
I'm
one
not that
person gets them.
picky.
One person gets them, but only one person has to do the ad read every time.
Yes.
And it's the person who gets them. Like, that's your
whoever gets the
responsibility
beats
now.
has to do the ad.
Then it's not me, because I do the editing. I don't need to do ads.
Oh, you're doing ads now. I forgot about that. You've been promoted.
Guess I
The
better
ad
check my
reader.
contract.
Wait, we got promoted to ads?
No. We don't make enough videos to get a regular audience.
No.
All right. So anyway, back to the spell before,
We get
my
distracted.
phone
again.
blows up again with the response. I'm pretty sure this guy's having a freak out right now because this is taking longer to respond now than before. It's probably like, oh shit, I forgot about that. All right, so yeah, 60
You need
foot
to
range.
link the podcast to this thread when we're done.
Oh my god, yeah, I mean, maybe I will. I have to check to see if it's against the rules for spamming. And then it's the question of, do I do it for all of the homebrew? Because then I have to go back and drop the link in a lot of...
I think just this one because we're interacting with them. They're a part of the
That's
show
fair.
now.
They are a part of the show now. So anyway, reduced blast fireball, 60-foot range. It's a third of a little less than a third, or more than a third, less than a half, somewhere in the middle there of the range. Yep. because doubling it would be 120, and then it's like
pi.
half of that.
It's pi of it.
It's pi of it, yeah. And so sparks fly from your pointing finger. Okay, and each creature in a 5-foot radius sphere of where you choose must succeed a dexterity saving throw with advantage, or take 2d6 fire damage. And then naturally at 5th level it's 4d6, 11th level it's 66, and 17th level it's 8d6. So at 17th level, they do get advantage on the saving throw, apparently. But you're just casting Fireball as a cantrip, essentially. With a smaller radius, smaller range, but the damage is there.
So if you're a sorcerer, you can cast 2 fireballs at once, essentially for free.
To the same person.
Wow.
That seems a little much.
That's at like 17th level, but
Still.
yeah.
Even still,
bit much.
46 and 66, that's still a lot. At the 2 upgrades.
Yeah.
Like, because Firebolt is strong at us right now, and it's 3d10.
Yeah.
And that would be 66. That's a lot more.
It's a lot more.
Oh, okay. If this was a 1st level spell, I don't know if I would care.
Right. But you could do this every single
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, as a cantrip, I
Yeah,
think
well.
this is crazy. That's,
It's nuts.
yeah. Well,
Like-
that's my thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you just upped it by 1d6 every time, you got the
Yeah.
level up, so that, like, it's only 3d6 that's 5th, at 11, it's 4d6, and at
Yeah.
17th,
Because
it's 5d6.
Because the save with advantage is a good handicap to that.
Yeah.
So as long as you reduce the damage, I'm okay. But that crazy strong cantrip.
Yeah. Like,
That's-
5-foot radius sphere isn't big, but especially at a front line, it's actually probably more effective than a big fireball because you can pinpoint spots along
Yep.
the front line, leaving out your party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Without expending other things like Careful Spell or a wizard's Sculpted
Spell
Spell.
sculpt.
If
Yeah,
they're an
spell.
evocation wizard.
Right. So, yeah, it's strong.
That, yes. Yep. I'd agree.
All right. Well, we did get a response.
Ooh, yes.
Little underwhelming.
Ah,
Like, yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess play the ace as either a joker or king. You could introduce a bit of lore about how people from some parts of the world play ace as a joker and some play it as a king, or maybe just add one of whatever your currency is to the prize pot, as ace represents 1. I'm going to leave ace open to interpretation, but thanks for pointing this out.
man. I
So it's
feel
like-
more
Non-definitive, but we contributed.
defensive.
We did.
More fun.
I'm just going
I
to say,
like-
we came up with some ideas.
Yes, let's make this keep going. I like my triple the pot idea. Peter's reaction is like, "Oh God, what are we doing?"
Yeah, we've taken a podcast into like harassing people on the subreddit now.
We are not harassing them. We
We're
are
just like, hey, here's how we think it should be done.
yes.
We're just
No one's
interacting.
gonna listen to us anyway, so who cares?
Right? So for the first one, I put ace triples the pot. That was one of our early contributions. 2, ace.
Reduces something by 1. Wasn't it?
Reduces the pot by 1. Ace buys the staff a round of drinks.
Ace buys the staff around.
Ace pays off the biggest bar tab.
Yeah.
Honestly, if that was a real rule, I would make up a huge bar tab and then just start playing the game. Worst case
Eventually
scenario,
it's gonna happen,
I pay my own bar tab.
right? Like, it's eventually gonna
Like,
happen.
who cares?
It's like a 1 in 13 chance of it coming up.
Yep.
Not if you're
Was
playing
that-
with me.
Well, we're not playing D&D, so the times you want to get a 1 or not, you'll never get it, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. Have you watched me play Star Trek?
I am
I'm supposed to roll ones. And I roll 20s.
Thankfully, this is not about rolling. This is about the person pulling a card. And so, as long as you're not reshuffling into the deck every time you pull, eventually the ace will come up, because every card that isn't an ace that you pull increases the chance that the next one is.
Mhm.
So is that it? Those 4 options?
That's what
Was
we
there
initially came up with.
So I said we came up with some ideas while recording about homebrew stuff. 1, ace triples the pot. 2, reduces the stakes by 1. 3, ace buys the staff around. 4, pot pays off the biggest bar tab. And I'm going to say we're working on more.
We're always working on more.
Ace starts a song.
The party bard has to start singing.
Or, I know, whoever draws the ace has to start singing.
Oh,
Has to
there you
lead.
go.
The typing continues.
I was like, give us time. We'll come up with more.
Fifth options, all the lemons explode.
And we're back to the lemons.
Of course.
The lemons! The lemons are my favorite.
They were pretty great.
They're ridiculous.
I can only think of SpongeBob with the evil. Every villain is lemons. Which would be scary if the lemons exploded.
That would be scary. Fantastic. We will see how he responds to our shenanigans later, after the next homebrew thing. Because we're getting ridiculous. What to do now? There's so many things, and I'm like, but I also want to just talk about this game more. But, alright.
Welcome to the Random Bar Game Podcast. This is your host now.
We create the most asinine bar games. So this person, I created a situation feats list that I plan on testing in a one-shot for 5e, but can be altered to be used everywhere. So situational feats: before a campaign, a player rolls a d20 and is granted them a fairly situational yet useful feat.
Okay.
So 1, night jogger. Past dawn and before dusk, your character gets +5 movement speed.
Okay.
The name makes me chuckle with that.
Yes.
I am a night jogger.
I'm the night jogger. I am vengeance. I am the night jogger.
Gotham's
2.
new vigilante.
Gotham's new vigilante. He just goes for runs.
It goes slightly faster.
He goes slightly faster. He can run away from all the crap slightly faster. Get the second one. Perfect. Okay, 2, saving grace. You can add +1 to the result of any saving throw per long rest. This does not apply to checks or skills. So,
Can see the usefulness of that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like one time per long rest, you're like, I just need one more. Use it. Cool.
Except now the worst thing ever is 2 under it. You're just like, no!
Right. Quick, can someone cast guidance before this has to finish?
Bless me. Please bless me, everyone.
Bless me.
Everyone.
All right. Vigilant Combatant. Your passive perception increases by 1 during combat. This begins when you engage an enemy and ends when the last one dies. So you get a little more perceptive.
But how much does passive perception really go on in combat?
If there was something like this, DMs would probably like put
Fair enough.
more things to notice. But since most people like don't pay attention to stuff,
Yeah.
you know, at the moment, not much. 4 Winter Fat. You take 1 less point of damage from any cold damage attacks, regardless if you fail or pass the saving throw required. You just got some blubber, keep you warm.
So my Goliath would get 2 points extra because he's already resistant to cold, so
Make
it's like
him
it's
fat.
extra
You're
2.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
5 Cauliflower Ears. Your AC increases by 1 when defending against unarmed strikes. This is not permanent and decreases when the attacker's turn ends. Weird. Weird to put it that way. So
It is permanent though, because every time someone hits with an armored strike, it goes up by 1.
right, like that's what that last line doesn't make sense. I guess they're just trying to clarify that it doesn't like when someone attacks you with an unarmed strike, like an 18 AC Paladin doesn't magically get to 19, and then it doesn't stay 19 from there on out. It's just against the unarmed strike.
I'm just picturing the ears after a punch in the face just creates like this helmet of safety around over the face.
It creates a helmet of safety, but you still get the concussion.
This becomes a little dickhead.
Maybe that's how the mushroom guys and Mario came to be that way.
Just cauliflower ear.
We're messed up. 6, do you even lift, bro? You gain +1 to strength checks. This does not apply to the skills pertaining to strength or strength saves.
Okay.
So just pure strength, which so rarely happens.
I hope the wizard gets this one.
Yeah. The wizard's like, I'm not going to use an athletics check. I'm just going to use pure strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
If your modifier is 0, then
I want to see that juicing wizard.
The juicing wizard. 7, Moonwalk Maniac. You gain +5 movement when you're disengaged to your disengaged distance. So I guess when you use your disengage action, you gain +5 movement.
It's actually kind of useful.
These are supposed to be useful, but situational.
There's some that are more useful than others.
There's some that are more useful than others. 6, not so useful in general.
I like the idea of someone just their way out of range.
The sound effect is obligatory.
Stop being ignorant. You're
Yes.
being so ignorant. Stop being ignorant.
Marion has had her Discord up since that game, and that GIF is just going on loop because it's going, and the thing's not going to screensaver. So every time I walk the screen, I just see that GIF going.
Stop being ignorant. That's so ignorant.
But I say, in order to get this buff, you have to go and go away.
Or any of the Michael Jackson sounds, like Shimoni, Shimoni. The man in the mirror. Yeah. 8. Joker card. You select one skills roll to make them interchangeable with another, as long as both skills have at least a +1 modifier. As an example, if you have +3 to deception and +5 in intimidation, you can choose to make them interchangeable and roll intimidation in place of deception. The 2 skills you choose must be chosen before the campaign and cannot be changed.
That can be really useful.
That could be really useful.
Again, for the wizard.
Or any weird-ass build. Because...
My paladin can be sneaky now.
Your paladin could be sneaky. Or, like...
Interchange athletics and stealth.
Oh my god. Or... if you're... With the example of deception and intimidation, you want to make one of the weird characters we make, like a Fearbolg or Goliath Rogue or something like that. It has like 0 deception, but just intimidates people into like, you don't see me! I don't see you! I'm so sorry!
That brings me back to when we were playing and Kale went to that poor valet and told him that the entire mess in the thing was his fault and passed the check, so this poor valet thought he just caused you impregnating a random thing. Because you went up and did whatever the hell you were doing. And we just kind of destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a mission to infiltrate this big party, and Jim's high-as-hell sorcerer first thought was, I'm going to seduce, like, this giraffe folk. I'm pretty sure it was like a giraffe person.
It was a person. Yeah, it was basically giraffe folk. The larger story was it was like they were cult. They were turning themselves into like anthropomorphized animals. For the record, what happened was no, because this is actually something I still dislike about that DM and that style. I didn't actually say I wanted to seduce her and go sleep with her. I said I wanted to like get her to take me upstairs and then ditch her so I could go sneak around the top floor. And he went, "Oh, so you're going to go sleep with her?" I went, "No, actually I said I didn't want to do that. I said I wanted to get her to let me upstairs, and then I was going to leave and go like sneak around and try to find info." And the DM went, No, you're sleeping with that person." And I had no choice. I had no player agency in that. That actually upset me, and it still like rubs me the wrong way to this day, because like that's when a player's like, that is not what I'm saying, and the DM's just like, well, that's what's happening now, not based on the role, just because he's like, it's better this way for me. Like, that's BS. Like, I get, hey, I'm trying to do this roll, you failed and now you have to like bumble through it. Okay, cool. But just being like, no, you're sleeping with this person.
You fail, and now this giraffe is uncontrollably attracted to you. You have to live with this now.
That would still be better than forced sex.
It's about the same thing.
It's really not. I could still say no.
You can still run.
It's true.
Yeah, that was not allowed.
That was true. That was.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was sketchy. At that DM, whose name does not need to be mentioned. So, number 9, split second. You gain 0.5 to your initiative modifier. If you tie,
you just win ties, yeah.
If you ever tie, you win, because you're just a split second faster.
I like that one.
I do too.
I like that one a lot, actually. That one's actually really good.
Yeah. It's not super often that you tie, or like tie with an enemy.
Yeah.
But the times you do, you get just that smidge faster.
That could mean the difference.
Yeah.
Like,
that could be a rogue using an assassinate or not.
Yep. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that one's great. 10, unconscious endurance. Whenever you reach
What?
0 hit points, you automatically have 1 death save success towards your stabilization.
Oh, okay.
So if you're down, you start with a success.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, these last two have been pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are good.
11, multitasker. You gain 1 extra skill with your background as long as it matches the ability score modifier used in one of the other skills that come with the background.
Yeah, I still like that one too. It's like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
it's an extra skill. That's good.
We're on a roll with these last few of them. Like, these are
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, they've gotten better. There have been some like iffy ones in the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
but they're I don't know if it's purposeful that they're getting better the closer you get to 20.
Could be, but
Could be.
they've been doing good.
Yep. Okay, 12. Never skip leg day.
Oh god.
You can choose to make strength saves in place of dex saves. That's ridiculous.
That is
I mean, awesome.
yes. Okay.
But
Okay.
especially seeing as like dex saves are like the most common save in the
Yep.
game.
Yep.
Like,
Barbarian doesn't care now.
honestly, my only gripe with that one is the fact that these are supposed to be fairly situational.
That's not situational.
That's not really situational because that's like the most common.
Okay. Would Shield Master work with that? Your Shield Master, you get to add your shield bonus to your dex save. Would that still convert? You get the extra +2?
I would say no because it says you can choose to make a strength save in place of the dex save.
Okay. That's good. That's good then, because that would be ridiculous. Just pure tankage. Like, nope, I'm succeeding, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first one I said. That's gonna bust it. That's
God.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't allow that.
I wouldn't allow that as this like everyone rolls on a d20 and gets one of these fairly situational ones at the beginning of the campaign, regardless. Like, I would maybe buff it out a little bit more and take it off this list and make it an additional homebrew feat.
Like, that would be something I would award as like a quest completing
Or like
boon
a
from
boon.
a deity. A boon,
Yeah.
Boon from.
Yeah, I was like the only in my head, like if you want to make this a feat, you have to add I think you have to add a little bit more to it.
You increase your strength modifier by 1.
Yeah.
You're allowed to use strength saves, and you throw something else in there.
Yeah, like some other more situational thing in there, just to make it like worth it as a feat instead of an ability score improvement.
Yeah,
because that's not that situational.
but that's actually a really good idea for a feat, though.
That is a good idea for a feat.
Actually, that's actually a good idea for a racial feat with some of those stupidly strong, like say like a turtle or something like that.
Yeah,
very dexterous. That could be a really good racial feat.
Yeah. You know, we'll work on that. Maybe next time we'll propose one of our own homebrews.
We need to have a thing where it's our refined proposed homebrews ideas.
Well, yeah, we should. It sounds like an editor's job. I'll send the editor the links, and he can type up and transcribe what we've said into the concise form. All right, editor?
Nope.
I'll double your pay.
Twice nothing is still nothing.
Damn. He's on to me.
Give you a nickel.
Oh, that is infinitely more than what you're being paid now.
That is true.
We'll write it into your next contract. Don't worry. But trust us, you don't need to read the contract before you sign it. All right. 13, Arcane Aegis. You gain +1 to any saving throw, but only if the saving throw is defending from a spell.
That's still legit, too.
Yeah. Like, that's
pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Else.
14, upbringing the unsatisfactory. If you have a negative score modifier in an ability, you can choose to.
You can
There's no like proper punctuation, like a comma there.
Oh.
So I'm sitting here. I'm like, wait, this is not a properly laid out. There should be a comma here, or else it's just like, if you have a negative score modifier in an ability, you can choose to roll a d20 with no modifiers for ability checks that does not apply to sets or skills pertaining to these abilities. If you have more than one ability with a negative score modifier, then the ability must be chosen before the campaign and cannot change. See, this is why you need breaks, because punctuation would be nice here.
But
so if you have,
also very useful.
I have to kind of read through it again just to get what all it said. So if you have an ability score modifier in an ability, you can choose to roll a d20 with no modifiers for ability checks. Okay. This does not apply to saves or skills pertaining to those abilities. If you have more than one ability with a negative score modifier, then the ability must be chosen for the campaign. You know, it kind of, to me, it comes down to the very much like it was a strength one earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the +1 to strength checks is if it doesn't apply to skills pertaining or saves. Like, how often are you doing pure intelligence? Because that's most people's dump stat. Or charisma.
If you're going to pure tank build and you have a bad dex, you're going to strength-based tank build.
Right, but how often are you doing a pure dex roll that's not a save or an ability related to that stat?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, that's the issue with me with those, is most of the time when you are using those stats, saying, oh, either it's a dex saving throw or, like, defending against a grapple and acrobatics if you're not using athletics.
The most person that use that is a wizard who needs a strength check on something.
But
even
maybe
then, it's not going to be much.
Yeah, it's not really going to be much, if any, really, because most of the time you'll still roll, like, athletics.
Yeah.
So. 15, Tyson Fury. Your strength save modifier increases by 1 when you have less than 50% of your health.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get down to less than 50%, strength saves go up by 1.
Actually makes some feats even more valuable because you don't need to make it even.
Right.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like it. 16, lingering impersonations, or lingering impressions. I can find. If you successfully intimidate a character, you gain advantage on your next roll against them. If you do not make another roll against them, the perk will go away after a long rest. Yeah, that's not bad.
That could be really useful too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your next roll against them, so it's one more roll. It's not like all of your rolls are advantage. Just one more, and once they can sleep on it, it goes away.
Yeah.
17, Faulty Wisdom. You gain the ability to reroll any natural ones made on a Wisdom save, check, or skill. You must take the second roll, even if it's another natural one. If you have the Lucky Feat, this ability allows you to reroll a natural 1 or a natural 2.
What does that have to do with like a halfling?
I don't know. They didn't specify that. I mean, if I'm being a picky DM about it, if you roll a natural 1 and you go, I'm going to use my Faulty Wisdom because it only works on Wisdom saves, checks, or skills. You go, I'm going to use Faulty Wisdom to re-roll that. Well, then you have to take that one, even if it's another 1.
Okay.
Which I think doesn't the halfling also say like you have to take the second roll?
Yeah.
So either way, like.
So if you're a halfling, this would be absolutely worthless.
This would be completely useless. Yes.
I actually kind of like it, the Lucky Feet one. If it's a halfling, give him a natural 2 as well, just so it's not worthless, because that player would be very disgruntled at the table.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Just buff it a little bit so the halfling who rolled a d20 to get this isn't screwed without anything.
And it's only a natural 2 on wisdom checks. Like,
right.
I would keep it so situational, but they wouldn't get screwed.
Right. 18. Chicken with its head cut off. When below 5 hit points, you gain plus 10 movement speed. This ends once you are either healed above 5 hit points or knocked unconscious.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Right.
It's kind of dumb, but I love it.
Nearly dead, and you just run around even faster.
I love that for like half orcs that have the relentless endurance, so they're down to 1. Disengage. Goodbye. I'm out.
Perfect. 19, Debbie Downer. You gain advantage on your next attack if you killed an enemy on your previous attack. This ability can chain over as many turns as possible until you do not kill an enemy on an attack.
I like this one too.
Yep, so if you just keep killing, you just keep getting more advantage and keep killing. Oh no, here I go murdering.
I've liked this one a lot, actually.
I like that one a lot too.
Yeah.
I would love to keep that. Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Oh boy.
Oh, that'd be so perfect.
And 20, Merciless Medley. You gain an extra bonus action if you roll a natural 20 on an attack during combat.
Okay.
For some classes, that is way better than others.
Yes,
a monk with that, like a monk, a sorcerer with that is great too. I'm just thinking, a monk with that who gets to do, multiple attacks, bonus action to attack again, and then a second bonus action to flurry of blows, a few more hits.
Well, a sorcerer could fireball, firebolt. Because it changes the casting time of the spell from an action to a bonus action. And if you get 2 bonus actions, you can do it twice. As long as you do a cantrip for your spell action.
You could do that, yeah.
Yep. This would be a way for you to cast 3 spells. Or 2 spells and a cantrip in one turn.
Yeah.
Like you said, monks and sorcerers would be...
Monks and sorcerers benefit
stupid
greatly from that.
Yep.
Like...
Oh my god.
Probably too much.
Yeah. My god.
Other classes, not so much, because not a lot of classes have tons of bonus action stuff.
Say certain clerics, like a grave cleric, could really advantage of this because they could healing word one person while spare the dying another because they both have bonus actions.
Yeah.
Situational spells, like certain classes it is that situational, but it'd be really useful. 2 healing roots could be really useful.
Yeah.
Um,
These are supposed to be situational.
but that one, when it's a monk or a sorcerer, is not situational.
No,
That just gives them a giant buff.
that just seems like overpowering them because this is supposed to
Yes.
be done before the campaign. So if you're doing like a 1 through 20
Oh my god.
or like, oh, level 1, you have 2 bonuses.
Oh god.
As long as you well, it's only if you roll a natural 20 on an attack during combat. So actually, a sorcerer would not benefit from this. Only the monk. Because casting a spell is not an attack action.
Okay, so it'd just be a monk.
Yeah, just the monk. This is very helpful for just the monk. Did I hurt your feelings with that?
Actually, an Eldritch Knight fighter can also benefit from this.
They
If
can too.
Yeah, I'd say.
But at like level
monk-
1, you're not an Eldritch Knight.
No.
So
But
that's what I'm saying. Like at level 1,
yeah,
when you first
get it.
since this is supposed to be like pre-campaign determined,
Yeah.
not like at level 4 I'm going to take one of these.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of other classes that could get a huge buff from this, and like the Eldritch Knight would be another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, cleric would still do this well
Okay.
because they could. I mean, if like me, you chose a variant human to take Warcaster right away, and you can still do anything, any of the spells, while still wielding your mace. So, all right. Well, before, because we've been doing this for a bit of time now, but before getting to our favorite sorcerer spells, some more has happened in our favorite homebrew item for this game.
Oh yes, I am excited.
Oh no.
So a couple people have upvoted our ideas, which brings me joy. It sparks joy.
Yes.
Someone added, or you can make an ace double the required wager to continue playing. Maybe forcing a loss from a player with less money, a ruthless game for the wealthy to rob the poor. So, a casino.
Insurance.
Insurance. They also said, also curious, if I roll a 2 and 4 and a 4 of hearts is drawn, do I win, or did I need to draw a 6? Or do I win on 2, 4, or 6? Obviously, he's like, yeah, no, you need a 6. And the card gets put on a discard pile if no one wins. And then they get shuffled back in once someone wins. So yeah, essentially, if you keep drawing, you will eventually hit an ace.
Yeah.
But I like our ideas better than the, just double the wager.
Yeah.
Like, come on, ours are better than that. Plus, that's
teacher.
basically what the king does anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, because yeah, the stakes are doubled with the king. So I'm like, so it's just the king again. Cool.
Yeah. Do something different. Mix it up.
Yeah, be creative. Come on, guys. This is homebrew. We're having fun here. We can get crazy. Because I don't have to use what they say.
Nope.
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
That seemed a little flamboyant.
I did exactly what he did in the scene.
I know.
I didn't break the vase, though.
You did not. Just the hand motion.
You ever dance with the devil in the clear moonlight?
like, let's get nuts. I'm like, what kind of nuts, Alex?
Walnuts specifically.
Oh, okay. You're a fan of walnuts?
I do like walnuts. Also, maybe because my
Walnuts.
sister's allergic to them, so she can't have them.
That seems like
Classic sibling
purely out of spite. I like walnuts because my sister's allergic and she can't have any.
Honestly, pecans are my favorite.
Kind of. Mostly in pie.
Or the candied ones, like they sell like
Candied
fairs and amusement park. Oh, those
Yeah.
are so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I like those more than the pecan pie. That's
We like food.
yes, food is good.
I believe the requirement to like food is just human.
There are some humans that don't like food.
Like exercise should also be part human, but a lot of humans don't like that either. So
That's accurate.
it's the same
terrible.
thing. It's just less common.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm very happy there was updates on.
I know. Me too. I was like, oh, people are.
You gotta find a way. We gotta. I want them to see this, just because I'm like talking about this. This is great.
This is great.
Now getting on to our favorite sorcerer spells, which for the first time ever we have not talked about beforehand. So this is all live as we're going on. So this could end good or poorly. It's
I
great.
don't know what these weirdos are about to say.
All right, so we'll jump right into it with cantrips. This is my
Woo.
favorite cantrip.
Prestidigitation.
Minor illusion.
I
Minor
went.
illusion.
I did shocking grasp.
Also, good. I like Peter being the
Of course
only
you
combat
did.
one.
Of course you did, Peter. Of course you picked shocking grasp.
Yeah, there's no context to that at all.
It did nothing help.
It did nothing.
It did absolutely nothing, but everyone thought it did.
If we haven't said it before, in a campaign, Peter was like dying, which is not a surprise. Then
Happens regularly.
someone decided, like, hey,
Someone's character.
someone's character decided,
Okay.
hey, defibrillators are not a thing yet, but I'm gonna try. And to shocking grasp Peter back to life.
Okay, but
Just happened to be right as he succeeded his saves.
Yeah, I succeeded my last death saving throw.
But who did I steal this idea from? Who did I steal this idea from? The
It was
previous
me.
campaign? Who
Only
did this to the cultists he was slitting their throats from previously because he didn't think things through? Just heard cultists and started slitting throats?
Yes. But my character escaped from a cult. They were sleeping cultists. Things were gonna get bad. I figured we should kill them before, we were totally outnumbered. I did not know. We had no way of that they were captives of the cultists. They're being forced through these anthropomorphized changes. It's fine. Most, if not all of them, survive.
We went back to full circle from the story beforehand. It worked out.
Yes.
We're good.
So it was the same campaign.
It was the same DM.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
boy.
it was the same session. Honestly, I think it was.
I
the same
think it probably was the same session.
session.
I think about it. It seems
Yeah.
like the same session.
Yep.
It was also the same session we threw a halfling or a dwarf or something through a second story window.
No, that was a different campaign.
Was that?
That was me throwing Dom through the windows in Gnome.
Oh my god, you're
It
right.
was very inspired by that break into the manor, but this
Yeah,
was
that's right.
me throwing Dom as a gnome through the window.
That's right. That was a different campaign. Oh my god.
Yep. This is not the evil campaign we tried. It was just
I don't think we tried an evil camp.
no, we did because we were all rogues and we were all different type of rogues, and then we may have murdered people in a sex dungeon because we lit it on fire and let it burn.
Yeah. You did.
People, I think I started the fire and let it go because I was the mastermind.
Yep. God, we've done some weird stuff.
They were fighting, and I lit a fire, and I wasn't going to stop to set it out, so I just left. And forgot about the people, the gimps and cages. I think is how you described it. As we got out, and he's like, "You all forgot about something."
I gave you that as like oh, can we go back and save them? You guys were just, oh. Okay. Oh.
This is the evil campaign, Jim. We're not going to save people. What's wrong?
Don't save anyone. I wasn't there, so I can't claim any of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've gone off on a tangent here. Yeah.
Level 1.
Yeah. Yeah, level
Right.
1.
We've all covered these cantrips before. So.
Yep. Level 1, I think I chose the only sorcerer exclusive spell
It's
in
a
the
good
game.
one.
Chaos Bolt.
Yes, it is.
If you don't know what that is,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what Chaos Bolt is, you make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, you do 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one of the d8s. Roll a number on that die to determine the attack's damage. So it's a guess on what the damage type is going to be. And if you roll the same number on both d8s when you roll the damage, the chaotic energy leaps from the target to a different creature of your choice within 30 feet of it. Make a new attack roll against the new target. Do all that, which then again, if you roll damage again, it can double again and jump again until you either have no more targets to hit or you stop rolling doubles.
And being a sorcerer, you can twin or quicken this, so you can send multiple of these things out and just have them start bouncing around. As the level 1 spell, it's 2d8 plus 1d6, which is a stupid amount of damage for a level 1 spell.
Yeah, it's a great amount of damage.
Yeah, this was mine too, because I used it to great effect in like one session that I actually played a sorcerer. So
yeah,
I'm going to do an honorable mention to Shield just because it is amazing. But Chaos Bolt is so much fun.
It is so much fun. The only downside is you could potentially be fighting something that has an immunity and accidentally roll that damage type.
But it's great for guards in the streets.
But you could theoretically still roll doubles and zap someone else, even if they're
especially if they're in formation and there's a bunch of targets that you could potentially just chain a whole bunch of attacks.
Oh yeah, and if anyone's played Monopoly, we all know it's totally possible to roll multiple doubles over and over and over again.
Yes,
in that game, you go to jail. In this game, you might avoid jail.
Yeah. You murder till you're free. It's Skyrim logic. If all the witnesses are dead, no crimes were committed.
If no one witnessed the crime, did the crime even exist?
Exactly. Okay, going on to level 2, which is also a cacophony of great spells. I've got mine. So what do you guys think first? Okay, the silence.
I almost always say first. Peter went first. But okay, go.
I
say it.
I did web, just for something different.
Okay. Go. Area of control. I like it.
That's
area of control sounds good.
Area of control, they're good here and there, and as a second level spell, not bad. Especially because it doesn't cost much. It's like, ooh, piece of spider web. There you go.
And once you have webbed up a bunch of people or made a large area covered in web, which definitely burns, you can hit it with Scorching Ray.
Yeah. And then deal 2d4 fire damage to anything that's in there. So.
Yeah, along with the 2d6 for each Scorching Ray, and there are 3 of them. Also, Peter, I know how much you like starting forest fires. For the record, there's a stream Peter's on Twitch. I think it's also on YouTube of a Star Trek game where he started a forest fire. So
yes,
those are good picks. The correct answer is Tasha's Mind Whip. Because
I
on the
almost
failed
went with
save,
that.
they have to choose a move, an action, or a bonus action. And if they somehow would have a effect already on them that forces them to say move, you completely negate anything that they can do in that time, while also giving them 3d6 psychic damage. So it's psychic damage, and it can completely just take out someone's ability to do anything, or make them choose. And depending on the type of class they are, they can do just kind of stuff.
That's fair. It becomes more powerful when you have that other effect that forces them to move as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it brings things up and up. It's making someone... You never realize how much you move action and bonus action until you're only allowed to pick one of them.
Yeah.
I suppose so. I should really try doing this to you guys during combat to make you all realize, like, most of you sit yourself in a spot and start blasting. You're like, oh, I can just attack. Like, I think you, Alex. I think you do more of all. Partially because you can fly.
Yeah.
As a dragon sorcerer. But also because you remember to use your meta magic, and I'm sure Becky won't hear this, and so she won't hear me giving her crap for.
So, but as we go into third level, I think there's 3 correct answers for this.
Fireball.
That's one. Theater was second.
I have 2 that I had as an idea.
Is one fireball?
No, I actually went with something different because fireball is always mentioned.
Okay.
I went with Melf's minute meteors.
Well, that was not correct. But what was your second one of the 2?
Wait. Why is Melf's minute meteors not correct? Alex, why is that not correct?
Because the 3 best spells on third level are Counterspell, Fireball, and Haste.
But we've already talked about haste and counterspell.
That's fair enough. I just wanted to say those are the 3 best ones.
Yeah.
And as someone who's had Melf's minute meteors and then forgotten it at higher levels, they're kind of fun, but they're not.
I mean, they're fun at this level. So, and then because I'm a child, Stinking Cloud.
Okay.
You're a child, and I love it, Peter.
I read the description. I was like, this is fantastic.
Read the description for everyone at home.
You create a 20-foot radius sphere of yellow nauseating gas centered on a point within range. The cloud spreads around corners, and its area is heavily obscured. It lingers in the air for the duration, which is a minute. Each creature that is completely within the cloud at the start of its turn must make a Constitution saving throw against poison. On a failed save, the creature spends its action that turn retching and reeling. That was the part that made me really laugh. Creatures that don't need to breathe or are immune to poison automatically succeed, and then a wind can disperse it after 4 rounds, and a strong wind can disperse it after 1. So,
I feel like the caster should be immune to this because everyone likes their own.
Exactly.
Okay.
But imagine if you can just cast it inside a dungeon. There's no wind. Just area of effect right where all the bad guys are running through that corridor.
Where half of them are immune or resistant to poison damage because it's the most immune to poison thing.
Unless it's like
I've made them all undead.
Unless it's like a dungeon in a castle, and then they're just guards.
It's true. That's more easy.
When was the last time that happened to us?
I mean, the rogue one shot where we were in a dungeon in a castle looking for information.
No, you were in a dungeon in a castle. We went into the said dungeon in a castle to rescue you.
But you went into the dungeon.
You were into the dungeon. Yeah.
I just started in the dungeon. That's it.
And Julia showed up.
Julia.
Freaking Julia.
Yes.
Getting on to level 4.
Sickening Radiance.
I think everyone knows my Shenanigans is amazing.
Yeah. For
That's so
people who
frustrating.
don't know what it does, 30-foot radius sphere for 10-minute concentration, and if you're in the spells area for the first time, your turn there, you have to make a con saving throw or take 4d10 radiant damage and suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
And it's that last sentence that makes it so stupidly powerful.
Yeah, because if you're stuck in there for a few rounds, all of a sudden, I think it's 3 levels of exhaustion. All you're
and then 2 more, you're dead.
3 more, because it has 6 levels of exhaustion, and you die. So 6 rounds for 10 minutes of concentration, and any levels of exhaustion only go away when the spell ends. So it's not like you get out of the Sickening Radiance and you regain all of that. No. You're still that exhausted.
Yep. And it would have worked to great effect in certain dungeons if the damn rogue wouldn't get in the way.
Yep.
But then I did cause a bunch of rival adventurers to just yeet themselves into oblivion by touching a teleporting crystal.
Did do that. There was a room, crystal in the middle. He just was like blasting in this room.
And it was a 5-foot door in the middle that we just put the barbarian to say, you're the wall.
Yeah.
And I cast it in the entire room, so they all were like, oh no, this is ending very poorly.
Yeah, after they weren't like super powerful either because they're minions, basically, and they were like, we know what this crystal does. We'll touch the crystal and disappeared into random parts of the dungeon, where naturally the party found some of the dead bodies later.
Yep. Sickening Radiance.
It's a great spell.
My usual 4th level is Polymorph, because Polymorph is just amazing. Yep. You can never go wrong. If you have the ability to take Polymorph, it's just good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fun. I went with Fire Shield.
It makes Peter actually combat effective. It's great.
Peter still has to roll.
But rolling as a giant monkey is better than normal Peter.
Unless I'm hasted, then I'm better.
It'll be a hasted giant monkey.
We've yet to see that work out.
We haven't, because I haven't been able to coordinate, because I can't concentrate on both.
No.
Accurate.
And I can't keep concentration when polymorphed. So.
Correct.
And Becky won't tag team stuff with me.
No. Sorcerers need some teamwork.
Yep. I did
Peter, what'd you choose?
I did Fire Shield.
Fire Shield.
It's not terribly interesting, but you get like flames that go around you that last for like 10 minutes, and they can, depending on what you have 2 options: Warm Shield or Chill Shield, so it can give you resistance to cold damage or fire damage, and then if anyone attacks you, they get like a zap. So a melee attack anyway. If you get attacked from a distance, it doesn't do anything, but if they come and hit you with something, then they get 2d8 fire or cold damage, depending. So,
which is pretty solid for a squishier.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to hit me? Yeah. You get hurt. So.
That's good. That's a good call. Level 5.
Before you do, also, I forgot that Banishment is a 4th level spell. I thought it was higher than that.
Nope. It's 4th level. It's a great spell.
Yes, Banishment is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue I've ever had with it is in video games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't remember if I mentioned it in the Celesta game review, but I banished it like an air elemental, and it put me in a horrible loop of in and out of combat for like 10-15 minutes as the game was trying to figure out, 1 full minute, 10 rounds, when there was no actual enemy within the game at the moment. And then eventually it was like, it's been there long enough. It's fine. It's gone forever. Next.
getting into the level 5.
I went with Immolation.
That's a good one.
I almost went with that one.
Yeah, I mean, 8d6 fire damage on a failed save, and then not only do they, get to light your way for a little bit because they're on fire, but at the end of its turns, it can repeat the saving throw and take damage for the next, 10 rounds. Because it's 1 minute concentration. Yeah, if they succeed, it's over, but, they could not succeed.
Thank you. Peter, what's yours?
I went with Hold Monster.
Always, that's a classic. That's a
Solid.
good choice.
Yeah.
Say, I've got 2 that I very much like. One is Synaptic Stack, because
Yeah,
one
that's
is
a good one.
it's psychic damage and intelligence saving throw, which is very rare for a lot of monsters and everything.
That
Plus-
is the right answer.
Plus, debuffing someone by 1d6 for most things is really useful.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one I very much enjoy is Animate Objects, because you can turn 8 pieces of coins into creatures that are +8 to hit.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, which then you always will have weapons on you. So you can just have 8 bronze pieces, 8 copper pieces, not bronze, 8 copper pieces, and you can do lots of damage. Just any
Oh, yeah.
coins in your pocket. So they're very useful. Both of those, I think, are better.
Or if you're rich, you can use gold coins, because why not?
Because you're big boost, you like that.
Yeah,
Here, let
you
me
don't
pull,
deal with copper.
let me pull out my platinum pieces and attack you with them. Oh my.
I will lead us off with level 6.
Beat
Since
you
we're
with 12.
specifically talking about sorcerers, I'm going to go Sunbeam. Because of the wording of the spell, that you can quicken it to cast a beam, and then on your turn as the action, cast yet another beam. So you get basically, with your, depending on the meta magic you take, you can hit people with 2 very powerful beams in 1 turn, which can be, you can do a lot of damage with one.
Yeah.
You can. It is a wonderful spell.
Yeah. I went with something in the vein of Chaos Bolt. I went with Chain Lightning.
I also went with Chain Lightning.
Also very good. That is,
Oh, yeah.
yes, that is a very good one. Just bounce them like.
Because
Thank
why
you,
not?
Oh,
Dylan.
yeah.
Lucky?
Let's just hit a bunch of people with lightning.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a shout out to Disintegrate, which is just for lovable reasons one of my absolute favorite. And can do absolutely asinine amounts of damage.
Can.
Thank you, meat golems.
Alex uses that spell often,
It is-
especially twinning it.
yes. It takes up a lot of sorcery points, but who cares?
A lot of sorcery points.
It's 13d6 plus 30 damage.
Yeah, that's a
it's
lot.
pretty great.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot. Man.
Level 7.
There's a lot of good ones.
There are. I chose one that it makes a lot of things much easier. Teleport.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was between 2 and then picked that one. Yeah.
Yep. Just, I mean,
Power's fine.
sure, mishaps happen. Being off target happens. Yada, yada, yada. But, if you want to move across a large area of space in a short amount of time and you know the place you're trying to get to,
It's immensely helpful.
just get there.
And if you happen to have a teleportation circle, you have a risk-free get out of jail free card.
Yep.
Because there's no mistakes if you have a circle.
Nope.
Yep.
Because Jim didn't make me choose between the 2, the other one I will go was reverse gravity.
Also fantastic to have a few bobbing enemies in the air.
And especially because there is no save.
Nope.
And the only chance of a save is if you're near a wall that might have something to grab onto. Like I say, you're in the middle of the open. or you don't anything, you just go. Doesn't matter what it is. You can be an ancient dragon who is the killer of all foes. You're getting reverse gravity, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, dragon was probably a bad example. They can fly. They could just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fly out of this."
They can fly, but they're still going to be caught up in at least a turn in the shifting of the gravity. But I'm just talking about they don't have a save. There's no legendary resistance to this.
That's true.
It happens.
I was just saying, unlike a bunch of orcs in a mountain pass, it could just be like, I'm going to fly away before, try to drop me 100 feet to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we should have done on that, though, is send them up to the air and then thunder wave them over the cliff and then drop.
But if the dragon is in a lair within closed space, they will hit the top. They cannot save. They cannot fly. Sure. They will hit the top. And there's nothing they can do about it either.
So when magically all the ceilings are 100... oh no! What happened?
Oh no.
That's why it's just because all of these very powerful things happen with no saves. It's a very powerful spell.
Yeah. It is.
I went with Delayed Burst Fireball because I thought it was funny.
Delayed Burst Lemons.
And
exactly.
I need a character about these lemons so bad. I need a one-shot character that revolves around these damn lemons.
I believe in you. You'll get there.
I will. I will make it happen.
I won't DM it though. So.
And nobody else will find it funny but me, and I don't care. I will be so happy that I just grow lemons.
You just need to have like Jim in there as a player, and then just spring it on the DM.
Well, here's the fun thing. I'm going to be taking up the game eventually, and no one can stop me. And the party will randomly just come to a lemon grove. And everyone will know.
Don't touch
no
me.
Not everyone will know.
Not everyone will know.
No.
Me and Peter will be like, a lemon grove? Let's go around, guys. And everyone else in the party is going to be like, why? It's just a lemon grove. We could probably get some food on the way through. Be like, no, we don't want it.
Picks up the lemon.
And then you see this nice shiny twinkle coming from through the trees of the grove.
I don't want that. I don't want that lemon.
Run away.
No.
Run away. Run away.
Nathaniel, pick it up.
Yes. Going into level 8, which is probably the weakest level for the sorcerers, because...
I mean, Incendiary Cloud is pretty great.
I did Earthquake.
Earthquake's good.
I was between those two, so it's just... I like the 7th level ones better.
That's fair.
Just in my opinion. I like the 7th ones better.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
So, then going into level 9, taking away Wish. Because Wish
without Wish? Okay, because I had that on there as an option.
Just take away Wish, because Wish is Wish.
Meteor Swarm.
Choose it. Interesting. It's a bold choice.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Time Stop.
Yeah, Time Stop. It was between Meteor Swarm and Time Stop.
I thought about Time Stop.
Yeah. No time passes for every 1d4 plus 1 turns in a row, during which you can use actions and move as normal. You just set up a bunch of crap to happen, all these spells, and you just watch everything just kind of blow up in front of you at once. Or the rest of the party just sees everything go.
X-Men Quicksilver moment.
A bunch of delayed blast firebolts spells in there, just one here, one here, one here. 4 turns go by. Boom.
20 minutes. Fireball. Fireball. Fireball.
Yeah.
There was a firefight.
Yeah.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I'm just quoting movies at this point.
So you take them all, you move them in the center. Fireball. Fireball. Force cage.
Could you imagine this, though? This spell, Twin Disintegrate. Twin Disintegrate.
I wouldn't have enough sense to do that. I would never get the 24 to be able to do it, but that'd be amazing.
Touche.
That would be awesome if I
That'd be
could, but I wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Or that's what you have the big bag, you do that, like, okay, disintegrate you, wait a turn, disintegrate you, wait a turn, alright, now we'll twin this one. Now we'll twin this one, so you just get hit with 4 disintegrates. Right, and that is 600 something damage. How does this guy feel?
He's okay. He brushes it off.
He doesn't feel so good.
Well, Alex's sorcerer wants to kill a god, so...
Yeah, that's gonna go well for us.
It's not gonna go well for us.
Probably not.
I fully understood this. This is how it goes.
But you're hell-bent on killing it, so...
I turned down the selfish impulses with that awesome hat. That, like, the
You
hat
did.
a lot.
Good.
And the hat was majestic, and I was wearing.
For the record, they retrieved a very magical, super powerful hat for a pirate captain for kind of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we
Like,
got a lot out
A
of it.
huge deal for their city.
Like
which meant,
countrywide
like-
diplomacy type stuff.
Yeah, like their ships wouldn't be harassed by the pirates, a trade deal, stuff like that, which was great for them.
And a lot of treasure.
A lot of treasure.
What they have found out already, and this isn't all that the hat does, but it definitely controls the localized weather. So the pirate captain can sail his ships
Wherever
perfectly
he wants.
fine, no matter the wind will all blow his way, because he can literally control it and tells the wind to blow his way.
And that is majestic as fuck.
And the hat is majestic as fuck. And that's just a bit of what the hat does.
Yep.
It does more, but we don't know what it does yet.
No.
You don't know what it does yet, and
honestly, I hope I
turned
never
down
find out.
and they turned down an offer. They also turned down an offer from
And
an
by they, they
unknown
mean
powerful being for information that would be required to kill said god for the hat. He turned that down.
The most unselfish thing this character has done in his entire
like-
life.
One of the few unselfish things he's done. Even the other unselfish things been motivated at least a little bit by like hatred of something else.
This was the first purely unselfish thing he's done.
Yeah.
And then had a drunken bender because of it, because it, like Zuko, after he let Appa go and got ungodly sick, a similar thing, but with Appa.
Yep. That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, we should do this more often.
Yes, this is fun.
This is fun.
Alright, I say, do we have any other updates on our favorite album before we close it out?
I don't believe so. I think
Uh,
they have decided to no longer engage with us.
That's unfortunate.
yes.
One of the guy who made some of the comments has written a lot on his own, but we're talking like 4 paragraphs worth of stuff that I'm not, and I don't really care all that much.
No.
Because it kind of looks like he decided to take this moment to bring up something completely different, and I see multiplications. I see a lot of math. Just like I don't know what this is.
This is supposed to be a fun, simple game.
Right, fun,
It's
simple
having
game.
fun, man. And you're making it simple and fun.
I mean, if you're a mathematician, you love math, go for it. But
But I am not a mathematician.
And we still got the upvotes, so there's nothing we can do about it.
Correct.
Alright, so thank you for joining us on this episode. We're talking sure we had a lot of fun with this one. We have two more classes to do because we have to do the Artificer
Yeah.
after Wizard because we skipped it. Then we have to find something else to go over. So
Something tells me we'll be able to find stuff.
yeah, but we have to choose things. Frustrating.
Choose or actually like invite people to the podcast to hopefully one day grow it by collaborating with other people, which means trying to contact them. Someone else should do it.
That's not gonna work.
As I've been told, I come off abrasive.
Self-admittedly.
So someone else should be the contact with other people first.
How is everyone's drinks?
It's good.
Mine was enjoyable.
Sam Adams is good. Yeah, your ice cream, I'm sure.
It was delicious.
How is the bubbly or whatever the seltzer is?
Very good. Well, I kill these things like they're water because that's what they are.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about them. If I'm going to have water, I'm just going to drink water. I don't want water that wants strawberry.
Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight, and hope everyone has a good one. Because we know you didn't make it this far with us.
Nope.
Bye!
Bye!